Hey friends, welcome back to the Johnson house. I promised y'all that I would talk a little bit about Holy Saturday and what we'll be doing here at our house to remember this special day. And I'm sorry if this video gets really, like pieces get left out. I have tried to record this about 5 times now, but trying to do that at home with 2 kids is crazy. So we're working on it. I am using still the Holy Week at Home that the diocese put together, and you can find a copy of it at diocgc.org. If you flip to the page that's Holy Saturday, we're going to go through the suggested things to do. So we'll start with the collect here, just a little prayer, and then it's got some readings. And with my friends here, this is a little bit much for them. So we might read the psalm here. It's just about 4 verses. And then we might try to do part of the epistle. But I think mostly what we'll do is we will do our Easter story egg. And if you've been following the rest of the week, that's what we read each week. And it's got each day, and it's got a little story. And you open up the egg, and it's got a symbol inside of it. And so the symbol for Holy Saturday is just this gray egg. It looks like a stone. And that is what we're going to remember, is that on Holy Saturday, things look hopeless and they feel like death. But we know that Easter is coming and that there is hope on the other side of this, that there's more to the story than you feel on Holy Saturday and Good Friday. So with that, we will begin some hopeful activities, because the other part in here, after you finish your readings, there's another lovely prayer here that we'll use, and then the service concludes with the Lord's Prayer. It also asks that you practice a fast from technology, so watch less TV, spend less time on your phone, and just spend more time reflecting and being with your family. With the 2-year-old and the 7-year-old at home, we will definitely need some activities then. So our activities come from the idea that the thing that I miss the most about Holy Week, I miss the Easter Eve baptisms. For whatever reason, those become Easter for me. Those are the ones that just let my heart open into the joy of Easter. I love them so much. And since I'm missing those, it's actually worked out kind of nice that we could spend Holy Saturday reflecting on baptism a little bit. It also works really well because in the Holy Week at Home, there's a great section on the baptismal covenant that you do on Easter Sunday. So this will help us get ready for that. The other part was that April 8th was Lisi's baptism birthday. So that means she was baptized 2 years ago on April 8th, along with her sweet friend Hazel. And so we didn't get to do what we would normally do, which would be do some fun baptism crafts and talk about baptism and what does it mean. So we're going to spend our Easter Eve, Holy Saturday, beginning to work in that a little bit. So everything that we do has a little bit to do with baptism, and we try to use lots of water in those activities and crafts. So here are the things that we're going to do. One of my favorites, so easy, is to take a plain coffee filter, and you can just scribble scrabble, just let your kids go to town scribble scrabbling on it with markers. And I can actually tell you that it's better if you can get closer to the edges and use a really inky marker. Some of ours were kind of dried out and it still worked, but the really inky ones spread better. So anyway, just make a scribble scrabble mess on it. And this can kind of represent what a mess our hearts can be sometimes. Just all of the sin in the world and all of the ways that we can just be so selfish and self-centered. But God can take everything that's in us, even the things that we think are just so worthless and bad, God can turn them into beautiful things. And so what you do is you take this and just get a little spray bottle of water. We were experimenting with which hazel water works better in case anybody wants to know. And you just spray it and let it work and let it dry. And what you'll see is that it spreads out everywhere and turns into this really cool, beautiful pattern. And the colors start to run together in new and creative ways, and it just becomes beautiful. And so we can take these and hang them up just by themselves, or you can turn them into butterflies. You can wrap a little piece of pipe cleaner around that, or you can take a clothespin clip and clip it, and you can even decorate the clothespin if you want to. Anyway, you could put little messages of God's love, anything you want to do. And then if you use the clothespin, it's really easy if you want to run some yarn or something on your family altar or wherever you want to decorate for Easter, and then clip those on as a reminder. You can clip them on Easter Sunday. You can also take a piece of pipe cleaner and punch it through the middle, and then just kind of twist it around, and it makes really fun flowers. And you can put those anywhere. You can twist them around, put them on the cross on your family altar, whatever you want to do to decorate for Easter. And I encourage you to do those. Either go ahead and make them on Saturday and then put them up on Sunday when you celebrate Easter. Another cool activity you can do is you can make paper chains. So you can just use construction paper, you can decorate regular paper, you can find paper anywhere in your house to use. My mom just happened to give us this really, really cute paper chain paper. So we are going to use those. I think we might make it on Holy Saturday, and we'll put it up on Easter and use it to decorate our altar. The other thing that we can do, we took some pipe cleaner. Now, Will made these when his cat died, and he was so sad, but we read a story, and it talked about over the rainbow as a symbol of heaven and a symbol of hope. And so he made these to remind him of his sweet cat. And so we took this idea and we added some bells to it. So if you can find just some loose bells, they have them at Michael's, and you do curbside pickup for that. Or just if you have Christmas bells. You can even just use your keys to jingle. That would be awesome too. But you can do anything like that and just make little creative, fun reminders with your bells. And what else? Oh, I know. For baptism, again, talking about baptism, you can take your coffee filter and cut it in half. And you can either take just some plain, just kids' watercolor paints and paint your rainbow on here, and how mixing the water with the colors, how it helps you create something beautiful. And you can make reminders of promises of God's love. And then you can just make as many of these as you want. You can hang them up around your altar or use them to decorate anywhere that you want to. The other way you can do is to take markers again and just do dots. Like you could do a whole thing of red dots and squiggles, orange dots and squiggles, yellow, and so forth, and then squirt it with water, or take a paintbrush with just water on it and paint over it and let it dry. And you can make beautiful rainbows that you can use to decorate your Easter altar. And then another one I think is really fun is just take your plain coffee filters again, and use paint, or you could use markers again if you want, and just decorate some different shaped flowers. And it looks all messy on here. You can't really tell what it is. They just look kind of messy. But I'm going to show you a picture on my iPad of what it looks like when you bring them together. Oh, come on, thing. There you go. It can look like this. You could use coffee filters. You can also use paper plates and curl up the edges, and you can use any kind of paint markers you want. But then you do one that's bigger, and then you do smaller and smaller ones and layer them on each other, and they make really cool creations. So these are just some fun things that you can do on Holy Saturday to begin to prepare and get ready for Easter and to incorporate some of that discussion of baptism and how God changes us and works in our hearts through baptism. And it's that same amazing power that we see in the resurrection, that bringing new life and new hope and showing that love is bigger than anything. So I hope that's helpful to y'all, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Holy Week, and I miss y'all, and thanks for coming.